This is just going to be covering the last part. I'm changing up the Boruto timeline. So, it starts up. So, let's get into this. Roll the intro. That's it. That's my intro now. Alright, don't judge my intro. So now we have a brand new start. Right after the defeat of Urashiki Otsutsuki, not Naruto, Christian and Boruto return to the village. Naruto says, "What happened? Guys have been gone for a month." And he says, "We got caught in a time-traveling portal from Urashiki, and we got stuck in the past, so we had to kill Urashiki before he stole a year past 9 tails." He said, "Oh, well, good job, guys." And Christian requests one more thing. "Hey, do you mind if I take Boruto and Mitsuki on like Jiraiya did with you for 3 years?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." And people are like, "That never happened." Well, I'm gonna say that he wants to take them on a training journey for 5 years. So yeah, he'll be about 16 because Boruto's like 11 in this story. So yeah, we see the next part of this. He goes and he says, "Where do you think Mitsuki would be?" He said, "Probably at the cat store or at his apartment." He says, "Well, let's go see him." So then they fly. He grabs Boruto and holds him up and says, "Let's go." And then they teleport over. And they say, "Hey, Mitsuki." And then he goes, "Hello. Hello, Christian Sensei and Boruto. What's going on?" And he says, "Mitsuki, I want to take you and Boruto on a training journey for 5 years." And he says, "Wait, why?" "Because I know there's more." And Christian says, "Because there's more Otsutsukis out there, and I'm gonna need you, the future generation, to train. What are you gonna do if me, Sasuke, and Naruto, and all the rest of us are gone? Someone needs to protect the shinobi world, and it's gotta be you guys." Sasuke's already taking Sarada on the journey. Says, So Mitsuki joins them. He says, "I'm gonna train you in so many places. You guys are gonna learn all about the shinobi world and all how to fight." So Sasuke goes and says, Sarada, you're coming with me. We're going to a new place. We're heading on a 5-year journey." And he says, and she goes, "Well, why? Why are we gonna be so far away?" And he says, and Sasuke says, "Well, the reason why is because all the Otsutsukis are coming. We'll meet with Boruto and Mitsuki sometimes, because they're going to be training or retraining sometimes." So Sasuke, for the first 3 years, they're doing pretty good. Boruto is exponentially strong. He's about end of Shippuden Naruto strong. He's about that level. I'm kidding. Yeah, he is. I'm kidding. He's not. He is. He's that level. And Mitsuki's even above that, because I'm pretty sure Mitsuki is stronger. He has mastered his sage mode, his snake sage mode, in that 3 years. So then after that, so in 3 years also, Sarada has her 3 Tomo Sharingan, mastery over fire style. He has mastery over the fire. She has mastery over fire style, mastery over lightning style, and mastery over water style. So she is trained a lot, and she also wields now a katana, a giant sword. And Boruto wields his Sasuke. And on the way back, once they meet, and Sasuke says, "Let's have a sparring match. The winner gets a katana." And they're like, "Sure." So Boruto and Mitsuki start scrapping, and Boruto with a great wind gale palm blasts Mitsuki up in the air. Mitsuki comes down with a ripple, slaps Boruto away, and then jumps down and goes, "It's over, Boruto!" And then punches him in the stomach, sending him flying. But then Boruto creates 2 shadow clones to push him forward, and then wind gale palm Mitsuki. Now Boruto wins, but Sasuke saw a really good effort out of both of them, so he gives both of them a katana. So now Mitsuki and Boruto both have the katana. Oh yeah, Boruto does have mastery now. He has mastered his Joagon. And soon he's waiting to get it into both eyes. So yeah, and Boruto also has not gotten his karma mark since he doesn't get one. But I'm gonna say he did get one from beating Urashiki. But he also did get one from beating Momoshiki in the original timeline. So we're gonna say Boruto does beat Momoshiki in the story. They all just do a combined Rasengan. So next we see after the 5-year time, after the last 2 years, they're training. Boruto has mastery over wind style and lightning style, and has learned a little bit about fire style, but not a lot. He actually learned a lot about it, but not too much. Then the certain times that he trains with Sarda, he trains fire style because she's pretty good at it. And after the 5-year time skip, they're all 16. They come back to the village, and it's in ruins. The whole village is in ruins. Inshiki Otsutsuki is there, destroying everything. What the? Alright, whatever. So, Inshiki Otsutsuki is destroying everything. Wrecking it. I don't know what he possibly could have wrecked, but he wrecked the entire village. And you hear a huge spike in chakra. A ginormous spike. It's Naruto in his brand new fox form. Giant form. And he says, "This will take my life. But I don't care." And then Boruto arrives and says, "Dad!" So then Boruto arrives, so they all arrive on the scene. And immediately Inshiki Otsutsuki is getting bodied, but out of nowhere Inshiki gets punched out of nowhere. And then wombo comboed by 2 Chidoris. And then he's like, "What the?" He's like, "Hey Naruto." And they're like, "Sasuke, Christian, Boruto, Sarda, Mitsuki, since when did you guys get back?" And he said, "About 5 minutes ago." Oh, that was my dog just saying. So, Mitsuki and Sarda are about the same. They're about Mitsuki's about Shippuden Sasuke. Not Shippuden Sasuke, but like End of War Sasuke, about the last Sasuke. And Sarda's about Sasuke level 2. They're equal. So Boruto's the strongest. Actually, Boruto's tied with them. But when he activates his Jogan, he's way stronger. But when Sarda activates her 3 Tomoe, they're tied. And when Mitsuki activates Sage Mode, they're all tied. Next, we had the war. So Inshiki Otsutsuki retreats and creates a giant army and grabs every single Otsutsuki from every single time. Even Madara comes back. And Christian says, "We're doomed." And then he says, so then the war happens, and then, so everyone is fighting off, and Naruto and Christian and Sasuke all say, "Shadow Clone Jutsu! Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu!" And then they summon Shadow Clones all over the battlefield of the Leaf Village. All the hidden nations are coming in to help. Out of nowhere, his head, Inshiki's head comes off. Because of Darui's head slash thingy, cuts his head off. Then Black Hunting destroyed some Otsutsukis. And the Otsutsukis aren't as strong. They're as strong as not that many people. So they're all fighting. He goes, bam, bam. So a couple of days have passed while the war's going on, and they're mowing down. With the Shadow Clone's help, they are mowing down the Otsutsukis. With Naruto actually knocked out because he used that form. It didn't kill him this time because Christian healed him. And Sakura was there healing him. So we see the next part of this. So Christian is still in his base form. So is Sasuke. Well, Sasuke still doesn't have another form. So they're all fighting him off, and he says, "Boruto, now!" And then Boruto goes, "Jogan Karma!" So Boruto releases his Karma and then his Jogan. And then Christian says, and then Sarda says, "Well, if you want to release your full power, so will I." And then she goes, "Sharingan!" Mitsuki says, "Don't leave me out, guys." And then he goes, "Sage Mode, full power!" When Naruto hears Sage Mode, he says, "What?" And then Christian says, "It's not the Sage Mode you have, it's a different Sage Mode." And then he goes, oh, so then they all go everyone. And they say, "Yes." And they're like, and he says, "Stop, wait a minute. Have you ever guys wanted to team up as Team 7? And they go, "Yeah." And then he goes, "Let's go." And then they all put their fists in the middle, and Christian immediately powers up to 6-pass Madara Sage Mode. He goes 6-pass Sage Mode. He says, "Let's go." Then he vanishes immediately, and then starts to body Inshiki. Because Inshiki's bodying the 4 Kage. So when Christian... Frick! So when Inchiki is getting wrecked, I don't know where he gets a big truth-seeking orb to the stomach, and then he's getting wrecked. Rods. He's getting bombed. And then he hears 2 words. He hears 3 words. Tails Beast Bomb! And then it shoots at him, killing him immediately. And they say, hey, Sasuke, transform into Susanoo. And he says, alright, Naruto and Christian, Susanoo! And then he says, you know what, Kurama, let's do it. Multi-tail beast transformation! He releases all the tail beasts, and they fight off all the forces. When Monotabi's about to get wrecked, Isu comes in and sends him flying. When Shukaku's about to get wrecked, Son Goku comes in with a fire blast, killing it, all the Otsutsukis. And when Kurama's in trouble, which he's not going to be, they all yell, raise your tails! And then they go, Mwah! And then they finish off all the Ototsukis except for Inchiki, and Christian says, everyone, fuse into one of Kurama! And then they fuse into Kurama, and then they become Ultimate Kurama. And then Naruto says, let's try something else. How about a 9-headed Kurama? And then he says, what? And then he goes, Shadow Clone! And he says, use your Shadow Clone Jutsu! Maybe that'll help. And he says, Shadow Clone Jutsu! They merge into one. And then Sasuke comes on with the Susanoo armor. The ultimate Kuramo. I don't really know how to say this ultimate form. They wield a sword, so immediately Inchiki goes ginormous, and Kaguya becomes her giant rabbit, and it's immediately disintegrated by a tail beast heavy cannon. And he says, "This is our final attack." And then they create the biggest tail beast bomb of their lives. It's as big as the earth. And Shiki jumps up trying to do it. And then they say, fire! And then they shoot it forward, hitting Inchiki, exploding him. And then Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki go to seal him up. They say, Sarada from the top going for the punch. Boruto from the side, from the left. And Mitsuki from the right. Sorry guys, my mic cut out. So we see, and then Boruto yells, seal! They yell, and all the 3 Team 7, they yell, 6 pass, almighty scream! And then they seal him up forever. And then they yell. And then Christian, Naruto, and Sasuke both fall, all their heads next to each other. No, they're not decapitated, they're all laying like Naruto is on the top, Christian on the left, Sasuke on the right, and they all laugh. And then they all put their fists up and say, Shinobi forever. And then they all just faint. And then they're like, wait a minute. But then after that, they all die. In peace. And everyone is sad. And Sakura tries to heal them, but it doesn't work. Tsunade tries, but it doesn't work. They die, and so does Kurama. And he says, and Christian, Mitsuki, Christian, Naruto, and Sasuke all say, Boruto, Sarada, Mitsuki, come here. They all put their fists up right next to them and give them their tail beasts and say, Kurama, Shukaku, Monotabi, Isobu, Son Goku, Kokuo, Saiken, Chome, Gyuki, please be nice to them. They give them it, and they die peacefully. Sarada, and so Boruto says, I want to become Hokage. Sarada actually doesn't want to become Hokage in this. Boruto becomes the Hokage, Mary Sarada creates Boruto, I don't really know what their kid's name would be. And that's the end. A happy ending. Naruto dying. It's not really a sad ending. They just all die. Peacefully. Well...